created in the history of mankind. Alright, I'm gonna do like a little bit of a review. It won't be too long. It'll be short and sweet. I actually think this game is great. When I was a kid, like I said, I always thought the 2D Zelda games were all like this. I thought they were all side-scrolling games. So when I later found out, and this was after I played Ocarina of Time, when I found out they were top-down view, mostly, I was like kind of surprised by that. So I was always naturally drawn to this game, because like as a kid, all my friends, whenever they played Zelda, they played this game. That's why I thought they were all like this. So I really wish there were more games like this. I think there's so much potential. Zelda 2 is basically a Metroidvania game before Metroidvania games ever existed. And so it was trying new things. It was trying to break new ground, and innovate the series. And I really wish they went in this direction. Now the actual mechanics of the game, this game is incredibly hard, and that can put people off. And I can understand why, because I felt like giving up many times. And I have played this game before, and I kept on giving up at Death Mountain. That's the sticking point. Now there's like a couple of things that make this game super hard. You can't attack and move at the same time. The range of your attack is very short, and the area of the hurt box is very narrow. All those things combined make this game so difficult, and it doesn't help that before Death Mountain, there are no good places to grind and level up. To add on top of the difficulty, they actually made the American version harder than the Japanese version. In the Japanese version, you can level up much faster, and they all level up equally. So you can actually get a level 8 sword by Dungeon 2. I've seen it before. The reason is, again, most people hypothesize that it's due to Blockbuster, and they didn't want American gamers to be able to beat this in a single sitting. But I don't see how anyone could beat this in a single sitting anyway, unless they had Nintendo Power. The overworld and, figuring out how to get through the game, it is impossible without a walkthrough. And that was done intentionally because they wanted people to buy Nintendo Power magazines. That's the reason. Like, how would anyone know to break some of those blocks to fall down a pitfall in order to progress in the game? How would anyone be able to find the hidden town in, East Hyrule? There are some hints, and I appreciate that they do give some hints. I guess, in a sense, it's not totally impossible, but there are some sticking points that I do believe are nearly impossible to figure out without a walkthrough or guide. So if anyone is able to beat this game without a walkthrough, wow, that's amazing. But that is a criticism against it, and it's valid. Now, despite that, this game, I really do like this game. I think it is, actually, I'll say it's fantastic. It is a lot of fun. Once you get past the difficulty curve, once you get past Death Mountain, it's all downhill from there. Death Mountain is the sticking point, but if you can get past it, you can beat the game. And once you beat the game, you're gonna like this game. I hated it too. When I was at Death Mountain, I was like trying to beat that stupid thing over and over again. I actually texted Owly and I was like, this game, I've been trying to play this game for an hour and I keep dying, it's impossible. Like, I fucking hate it. But that's the weakling way out. If you stick with it, you can beat it. Graphics-wise, this game I'm pretty sure uses like the Mario 1 engine, so it looks good. However, the level design, if you were to look at the maps of this game online, they are so flat. Like, there's no creative level design in this game at all. Like, it looks like an amateur designed it. Yeah, they throw in some pitfalls here and there, but really, what makes this game challenging, since the level design is so basic, it's kind of the same problem that Mario 2 had, aka Doki Doki Panic. In order to make the game hard, they make the combat hard. They make the enemies do so much damage, and they do knockback to knock you back into pitfalls and things like that. And that's really where challenge of the game comes from, not the level design, which is so basic and plain. But with that said, I like how they combine like an overworld with real-time combat. This is the only Zelda game that you can legitimately call an action RPG. The other ones aren't because they don't have a level progression system. So I like that. I like how it kind of combines the overworld that you found in like Final Fantasy 1 with real-time combat. The only problem is that those random encounters are way too frequent when you're trying to explore. Like, if you're trying to play this game the way that it was quote-unquote intended to be played, I don't know, it just, the frequency of those random encounters stifles exploration. I mean, in a speedrunning setting, there are tricks you can pull to avoid a lot of those random encounters, but in a casual playthrough, you're gonna get hit by them constantly, and it's just way too much. And you can't even use most of them for grinding. The best grinding places in this game are not random encounters. So like, if I were to recommend to a fan hacker, like if someone wants to fan hack this game and make it easier and more accessible, I would make the following suggestions. Tone down the number of random encounters, make them less frequent, actually just use the level progression system that the Famicom version has. I think that would be a lot better. You know, maybe there's something that could be said about like the combat, but like if you were to increase the attack range of those attacks, it might actually break the game, because if you change any one of those things, you know, it might become too easy. But I do think that the 1-ups should be permanent. You know, occasionally in the game you can find 1-ups. Those things are basically totally useless, because once you get a game over, you're stuck back to just 3 lives. It would be nice if you picked up a 1-up. It would give you a permanent 1-up. Like, okay, now I have 4 lives even when I game over. You know, I don't think that would break the game at all, and it would make it more accessible for new players. So, the music, I would be remiss in not mentioning how awesome the music is. I love the music, and the ending theme for this game is my favorite Zelda theme of all time. I don't think they used it in any other game either. The Japanese Famicom version actually has some altered music, and it's enhanced. Unfortunately, the sound effects are worse. If you watch like a playthrough of that, you'll see what I'm talking about. But definitely check out the music for that version, because it's improved in some places and different in others. So yeah, I think this game's great. I think any Zelda fan should at least try it, and don't dismiss it. It's not the worst Zelda game. That dishonor belongs to Skyward Sword, which is a piece of shit. And that's it. That's all I gotta say about it. Alright.